Oh, did I disappear?
Yeah, just a little bit. You're fine.
There it is.
There
All
you
right.
go. Hey, we're
All right.
here.
Welcome, everyone. This is, we made it. I finally get this work. None of us
Yeah.
are technologically advanced, so the fact that we can make anything work is always very impressive.
Yep,
But
for sure.
welcome, everyone, to episode 5 of Talking Crit. My name is Austin. I am with Judah for Oneshotdnd. How's it going, Judah?
Yeah, very good, dude. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Before we jump into the episode and the questions, I want to, of course, do a quick shout out to our sponsors. First one, doing Legendary Realms Terrain. You can go see their stuff at lrterrain.com. They have great painted miniatures. You see them during all our episodes. Uh, Dylan from Wizard Works, he has his Etsy store. You can see him. That's where we get our little stands to make people fly and all that cool stuff. And our brand new sponsor is Designed by Moonshine. Also coming from Australia, Designed by Moonshine. She makes dice.
Hell
So
yeah.
from your neck of the woods, Judah.
Dude, Australia is so big. Such a huge island. But the worst part is it just doesn't exist. So I don't know where you're getting all this stuff from. I don't actually exist. I'll be completely honest. I'm a figment of your imagination.
Oh man, I gotta go see a doctor then.
Yeah, I'm also a doctor.
In D&D, you could be anything.
I could be anything. Yeah.
Just have to use your imagination.
That's it. Hi, welcome. My name is Austin, and
Do you have anyone do you want to shout out, Judah, before we jump to the episode?
yeah. Well, main sponsors for our show, or for my show, is Sword and Stone. You guys can pay any amount of money to buy anything you want, but with Sword and Stone, most of their miniatures actually come pre-painted, which is super cool. Because buying minis is really cool. Painting minis takes forever. Especially if you're like me and you're like real a perfectionist for everything. It takes forever. So it's really handy that Sword and Stone actually have everything pre-painted. Main sponsor for the show is, of course, Nicole from Dancing Druid Dice. She is just awesome. I can't stress that enough. If you use code OneShot25, you get 25% off her custom made dice, which is so much more than 24. It's an absolute, honestly, it's a blessing to have Nicole want to sponsor the team. So shout out Nicole.
That's great. Dice are once like getting into D&D and actually like seeing the price of dice. Some of them are like, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
But
for
I can
sure.
imagine the time and the effort and like just the practice it takes to really like perfect that craft. I'm sure it's very difficult.
Oh yeah, it's too much for me. It's actual math. I don't do math.
I tried doing it and it was a complete failure. Nothing went right. Everything had giant bubbles and looked awful. Unless I was selling like
Yeah.
Swiss cheese dice, it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna work out.
Yeah. Your wife just looks at you and says, "That's good, sweetie. What is it?" It's
a
dice. What do you
die.
mean? What is it?
Look at it roll. It just
Yeah. It rolls up. It's like, oh god. Yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
So first off, I want to start this off really simple. When did you start like your interest in fantasy, your interest in role playing games? Did it start with D&D or did it start at another place? How'd you get into this whole fantasy world?
Oh, dude. That's a long form question with a really simple answer. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, I think Lord of the Rings is probably what sparked the whole thing. So I was of the age where Peter Jackson's first movie came out, and I watched that thing religiously, like over and over and over again. I was like, I think I missed something. And my parents were just like, you didn't. You watched the whole thing. No, I think I blinked or something. Just play it again. And I would just sit there for hours watching it. So when I found out that they were actually based on like books, I was like, oh, dude, get me in. Got into that. And that then that then went into like the Silmarillion, for example. And you just keep going more and more into it. And that kind of just led to D&D eventually, because it's like, oh, well, you read about these stories and they're so cool. What if you made your own story? I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I can let these voices that are in my head finally come out. So I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's interesting too because D&D is like it's not pre-written,
No.
right? Like the Lord of the Rings book, he like had to sit there, and I'm sure he wrote multiple different drafts and different copies and took things away and adding things in. But like
Mm.
D&D is so like free form where it's just like I kind of have a plan.
Yeah.
There's a very small chance that the plan will work.
Nope.
And that everything will go as planned.
Dude, the amount of times you have like a bullet point, the party is going to converge at a tavern, and the party just instantly goes, oh, actually, can we not do that? It's like, no, can we just stick to the plan, please?
Oh, yeah, I think with me, definitely, I was always like into video games. So like
Yeah.
Skyrim and Elder Scrolls and really
Yeah.
the original like Diablo and Diablo 2 were like my first
Sure.
like how many different ways could I build this character and how many different
Yeah.
ways could I do this, and that kind of led me also into like that fantasy world, and then I started to like watch movies, and
Mm.
the first like books I really started to read were Fire and Ice with the
Oh,
Game of
yeah,
Thrones
very
books.
cool. Very cool. Yeah.
And that that opened up like dragons and everything because Lord
Mm.
of the Rings, they mention dragons, but I guess the Hobbit has dragons.
Well, I
That
would
was
argue the Silmarillion actually mentions more about dragons than anything else, and the
real. I've
Hobbit
never
kind of
read
like
that.
touches it. Oh, dude, insane. If you have, I don't know, like 10 years of your life that you want to just dedicate to reading a book because you don't understand it the first time, just do it. Um, the Silmarillion is like what the Lord of the Rings is to most people is like, oh, it's pretty nerdy. And then the Silmarillion is that to Lord of the Rings. It's like, you thought that was nerdy? Come here. Come into this back room. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the lineage of this king. It's like I don't need to know it. Yes, you do.
Hold my beer. The
Yeah,
hold my
exactly.
beer of the fantasy world.
Yeah. You want to know how the beer is made? No, it's pivotal that you understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. It reminds me of, like I'm going off like now. Patton Oswalt tells a joke how he talks about like Star Wars the trilogies, and it's like, oh, it's gonna have Darth Vader and stuff. He goes, yeah, but he's a little kid and he's sad. It's like I
Yeah.
don't care where Darth Vader comes from. I
Yeah.
just want to see Darth Vader. He's just
Exactly.
like telling all this
For
stuff where
sure.
it all comes from. You're like, I don't care.
Yep. Yep.
But then now that I'm older, like I appreciate those movies way more than when I first started watching them
Yeah.
because now it's like you see the evolution, and then the TV shows were amazing.
Mm,
If you want to also waste a couple years, watch the Clone Wars animated series,
for
the
sure.
original one from like Cartoon Network.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, it's leading into like my next question here. What aspects of D&D do you enjoy the most? Do you like really love the DMing storytelling part? Do you sometimes like to jump into like being a player, or is it just something about the core mechanics or the way it evolves itself?
I think it's a mix of both, honestly. I love DMing more than being a player, mainly because as a player, I know that I know what the DM's trying to do. So part of me is like, I could break this game right now, but I don't want to because I really like the story. But as a DM, I find the coolest part of being a DM for me is more here's a story that I have in my head, and because I've only got the one brain, half of it, because I've only got the one, I've got a very, I don't know, narrow view of how this story is going to unfold. How do you think this story unfolds? And then giving it to my players and then watching them give me like new things. And I'm like, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think that was possible in this story. I was just going to go from A to B, and you found like multiple routes to B. I think the collaborative nature is the most important part for me as a DM or just playing in general. I think it's just the fact that here's a story I made, or here's a story that came to me in a nightmare.
It's never a
Me,
happy dream.
yeah, no, dude, it's never nice. Yeah, yeah. Like imagine going into, I don't know, a random cavern, right? And you just start hearing some sort of billowing music, and you're going, "What the hell is that?" You turn around the corner, and there's a dragon. Like, At no point in time are you going to be like, oh, this is going to be a peaceful encounter. No, you disturbed his sleep. So,
Maybe he's hungry.
yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, hopefully this dragon is vegetarian. Really? Really? Vegetarian. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the pile of dead bones meant nothing to you.
Maybe we could negotiate.
Yeah,
Maybe I have
exactly.
something you want.
Yeah. I did find gold on my adventures here. Really? What are you standing on? It's
Is it compared to this mountain? This
yeah.
is just,
Ooh, gold. Yeah. I don't know you had gold on you. Dude, yeah, just come in. Yeah. To answer your question, it would be collaboration. I think that's the most important part for me.
Yeah, I definitely see that now being a DM and being a player, seeing
Mm,
how important it really is to just like not only like have a story, but to be like flexible with it and to like you said like
yeah.
there's so many different ways to solve a problem. Just
Mm,
because I wrote it that you have to just roll this one check and pass it, and you're like, oh, but wow, I want to investigate over here. Then wait, what about that thing that happened to us earlier in the campaign? And you're like, oh my
yeah.
god, that has nothing to do with anything. But okay,
Yep.
yeah, let's work that in.
Let's roll with it. I think one of my favorite things to do in that is, when you have like a puzzle and it's like it's honestly like a year four puzzle. It's for children. But but instead of not that I ever do this because that'd be really mean, and I'm not a very mean person, or am I a very mean DM? I'm not. I don't like that you smiled. What is that supposed to mean?
I
It's
just
more just like you have a
if you
puzzle,
have to tell someone you're not mean,
dude. No, trust me, I'm a good guy. um, no, like I think one of my favorite things to do in D&D is like create a puzzle um, for home games, not for one shots, but for like home games. Have a puzzle and have no answer to the puzzle. And everyone's like pitching their own ideas, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Let's just do that. It's like, so I figured it out. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, really clever.
or better just have them spitball and the stupidest one is like, oh yeah, and then we have to kick you in the face.
Yeah,
It opens a little
yeah,
bit. It
yeah.
like that. Let me kick you.
Again,
Wait. I attempt to kick him.
it's like, hey guys, have you? I know that you're like really clever and whatnot. Have you tried just pushing the door open? Sometimes that just works. Yeah. I didn't tell you it was
that
locked.
that is always the thing that people do last. Is just
Yep.
like check if
Yeah.
it's locked.
Yep.
Let me
You come
check
to a
for
closed door.
traps.
Oh, okay. Closed door. So I'm gonna start casting any and every spell that I have available. Why?
I would like to
Why?
investigate. I rolled a 1. You don't see anything wrong with the door. Oh God, I rolled a 1 though, guys. Like,
I think we missed something, guys. Yeah. You're holding the
like
key. This could be for anything.
it's fantasy, but
Yeah.
doors don't have to be that much fantasy.
No, exactly. Yeah.
They are
The
a real
basic
thing.
IKEA door.
Some things are fantasy. Dragons, orcs,
Yep.
Doors.
Yep.
Very real.
In saying that, shameless plug. I love this so much. Sketchy Rolls has this character named the Doorman. If you ever get to go in, the Doorman is so funny because he just flubbed when he was saying a character and he accidentally said Doorman and his players just ran with it. And now it's this like fully fledged character that has his own lore and everything. So doors can be more than doors, but the most for every other adventure apart from Sketchy Rolls, it's just a fucking door.
I will say on this campaign though, I did try to rush in through a door,
Yeah.
and my character got teleported into a cage.
No,
So
I remember that.
Now I'm terrified of doors.
Yeah. I remember you got stuck there.
I like touch it. I go, do I open the door? Is it locked? He goes, you vanish. I'm like, oh God, what did I do?
Can I not vanish?
I take it back.
Yeah. Please, dude. Slip in him a
check for
$20 note.
If you had to pick a D&D class,
Yeah.
which one would you be and why? If you could throw yourself into maybe a world that you created or a world that you've played in, what would be your premier class that would summarize you?
Ooh. Most likely an assassin rogue. if I had to pick one without multi-classing, because I could go for hours. Um, an assassin rogue, I think is just so cool.
Yeah, you are a
But
nice guy.
yeah, very nice
I would be
actually.
an assassin.
Yeah. Say that again, but say very nice this time, right? 'Cause I paid you a lot of money.
I'm an assassin. No.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, don't relax. I'm an assassin. Sorry, what? No, I think an assassin rogue's so cool. I mean, the fact that you're like hyper alert, which doesn't play into paranoia at all. You're hyper alert all the time, and if you are the first person to attack, it's devastating. And you're always, as an assassin rogue, looking for ways to create advantages for yourself as a character, which I think is fantastic. Because as a DM, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I will say that playing a rogue now, I'm doing the mastermind subclass, but even with
Yeah.
that, you
Yeah.
just you roll so many dice on sneak
Yep.
attack, and
Yep.
it's crazy.
Yep. Because rogues in themselves are very squishy characters, very much a glass cannon. Like apart from like a blood hunter, which would be my top two, just because you could be so emo. I cut myself and I get more powerful. It's like, all right, you got to stop watching anime, dude. Yeah, you have a My Chemical Romance tattoo on your forehead. Can you not, dude? Is he bleeding again? Take his blades away.
Yeah, but the
Uh,
other guy's affected by it. He's shook.
yeah, yeah, he's getting psychic damage. It's like, oh, we went to go attack him, but he started cutting himself, and I didn't really know what to do there, so I kind of just backed off.
He
Yeah.
attacked
What about you?
himself.
Yeah. What would your character be?
See, mine is a little tough because I've always been like a jock my whole life, playing
Yeah.
football and that stuff. But I'm
Hmm.
also like I have a degree in physics. I'm a teacher, so like I'm also like nerdy. So it's
Hmm.
hard for me not to say something without multi-classing two things that don't make any sense.
Yep, for sure.
Like I would love to be like a fighter and an artificer.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
like mold those two things together. Now, like especially
Yep.
now, like with like subclass like gunslinger, and then
Yeah.
artillerist from that, and then you can just
Yep.
kind of like, well, what if I had some tools to make my own stuff?
Yep. Like Eldritch Knight is really good. Echo Knights are very cool as well. Yeah.
In our new campaign coming up, I am going to be playing a fighter, so I am
Sick.
looking forward to that.
Very cool. Yep.
I will say I did the last interview I did. I talked to Jacob, and he like talked to me like about multi-classing and dipping.
Hmm.
And now every time I'm building something, I'm like, ooh, what can I dip? What can I dip? What
Hmm.
can I dip?
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
it's like dipping your finger in like the little taste. Like, oh, I gotta go back.
Yeah. For barbarian, get a bit of rage and you go, oh, what can I do with this? I think they made it a little bit easier as well with the new rules, with the updated 2024 rules, I think. It's easier to multi-class now without having so many prerequisites, which is really nice. Opens up a lot more for people to be like, oh, I want to be a barbarian and a wizard. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? Do the Jekyll and Hyde thing, you know?
Yeah, I also like how they kind of made like any species can be any class.
Yeah, which is
So I
very
feel
cool.
like before that it was very like if you were a gnome, you weren't
Yeah.
making a barbarian. You were just
No.
like you got
Yeah.
the intelligence boost and stuff like that, and it was just like you had
Yeah.
to build a specific type of character. And if you tried to make
Exactly.
something like outside of that, it was like, eh.
Yeah. You're pushing it. You're really pushing it. Yeah. So
I
you
will
imagine.
say dipping
Yeah.
into warlock was very nice for
Yeah,
this
dude.
current campaign.
Yep, for sure. Yeah.
The fact that you can just make anything your packed weapon,
Yep.
and now I can
Yep.
do psychic damage, necrotic
Yeah.
damage, radiant, just for free.
Just pick up anything. It's like while you're having dinner, you pick up any piece of cutlery and you're like, I could kill you right now if I wanted. If my patron wishes, I shall sacrifice you. It's like, oh,
I
okay.
snap my finger and the fork disappears into the ether.
Yeah, it's like, oh, dude, that was one of my favorite forks. Now I gotta go. Now I gotta go get a new one. It's a whole thing. I had to wait 3 months for that one.
I did hear of a crazy dip that I didn't do this in this campaign, but I heard if
Yeah.
you have rogue and you dip into sorcerer,
Yep.
you can do arcane acuity,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can like quicken spell true strike.
Yes.
and that gives you, because you're now attack, now the spell is attacking with a melee weapon,
Hmm.
all your sneak attack triggers. Because it's a sorcery spell, you get advantage on the attack, so it automatically
Yep.
triggers sneak attack every single time.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Disgusting.
disgusting. It's
Yep.
disgusting.
Or like coffee lock as well. I don't know if you've seen the coffee locks at
I
all.
I have not.
Coffee locks are disgusting, dude. Coffee is kind of like a sorcerer warlock, but the way that you do it is essentially you sleep just enough that you can have like an infinite amount of sorcery points in warlocks. Warlocks just love that. So you could just keep casting spells because the whole thing about a warlock is like, hey man, you've got these really cool spells that you can cast and they do mad amount of damage, but you've only got a few. Whereas with like sorcerer, you can, as long as you have points, you're good. What if you had infinite points and massive spells? Yeah, I know it's disgusting. Yeah, as a DM, you figure things like this out, and then people make videos about it, and you go, "Yeah, now it's out in the open."
I remember that.
Yep.
I saw another one where someone brought up something where it was like you're like a ranger, but you're also like a barbarian with the grappler feature. So you do like
Oof.
spike growth, and then you
Yep.
just grab people and you just walk them around the spike
Yikes.
growth as you grapple them, and every 5 feet they just keep taking damage, damage,
Yep.
damage. I think
Yikes.
someone called it like the grinder. You just grind them
Yeah.
away.
Wow. Yeah. That's you're just a friggin' NutriBullet at that point, right?
I hug you and walk you in a circle. You take
Yeah.
50 damage.
Trust me, I'm a nice guy. Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
Moving on to the next question. What's the best advice for not just like new players specifically, but just like any like first time DMs? Whether you're just jumping into D&D for the first time, do you think it's great to like just jump into DMing, trying to build your own world or building off of there? Or if you're a player and going in the DM, if you had to give just one piece of advice that you think would help everybody?
Hmm. I think the obvious answer is read every source book you can, memorize every spell in class, know everything about everything. No, no, I'm just um, no, just get in, dude. Try to build your first character, and just go, what do I want to achieve with this character? Okay, well, I really like Legolas from Lord of the Rings. Okay, awesome. I want to create a guy that's very similar to Legolas. Well, Legolas is an elf. So let's pick the race, let's pick the class, let's build out who I think is Legolas in my D&D world. And just getting yourself into the mindset of my character or this is the world that I've created. Once you get into the character, everything else just flows from there. Improv gets really easy, problem solving gets a little bit easier, interactions with people. You're like, how would my character genuinely react to this? You know? So,
Yeah, it's so different going with what does what do they know versus what
yeah,
do I know, and
exactly.
having to like separate
Separate
those
that.
as two separate things.
Because you're always listening, or you should be. You're always listening at the table.
Should be is a good preference. You
You should
definitely
be
should
taking
be.
notes. You should be telling me that I got the time of day wrong. All right. um, but when you're listening as a player at the table, you're listening to every conversation, everything. There's no closed doors at all.
Yeah,
But when you are a PC and you're actually in the game, you don't hear everything. If there's a closed door, it's a closed door. It might be not locked, by the way, but it's still a closed door. You don't hear it. So being able to disassociate a little bit and going, no, what does my player character actually know, as opposed to what do I know? That's cool.
that's a big one.
Hmm.
Do you have any advice for like building your first world? Because that's something even I have like yet to tackle. Just because like
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm sure like I could do it, but would it be
Yep.
good or would like where to start?
Well, first thing is don't create everything out of thin air, right? Feel free to use things that you already like. Do you like things from Song of Ice and Fire, for example? Okay, well, I really like the way that the North is built. Okay, cool. Bring that in. You can reflavor it, but bring that in. it saves you so much more time and hassle, and you're not stopped, or sorry, you're not burdened by like decision paralysis. And you're like, oh, where do I start? Where do I start? It's like, just start somewhere. What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Pull all those things in and pull them together, and you'll find that they kind of weave themselves because you like all of them. Don't force yourself to have to create everything. You don't have to. If anything, the less you create, the more your players can help you create. So,
Mm,
yeah.
that's true. And even just thinking of that, like even if you, for example, like Song of Fires, even if you just did the North,
Mm,
that's more than enough to encompass the
saves. That's
entire
so good.
world.
Yep.
And
You've
then
already
you
got
could,
so many kingdoms and interactions, and not only that, you've got so many different locations that you can build a campaign
yeah,
from. You know?
yeah, and you could, I mean, you could focus one campaign around just like Winterfell and the surrounding towns. I
Yep,
mean, that
for
alone
sure.
is like you have a system of government set in place.
Hmm.
You have built-in issues. It's cold. It's winter. We need
Hmm.
food. We need the
Yep.
harvest. Like things like that. And then, would do you sometimes like bring in aspects of like trying to like mix certain things? Like, oh, I like this setting as a whole, but I kind of like the storyline of Lord of the Rings better. So let me try to intertwine those two things into my
Yeah,
own unique thing.
for sure. Honestly, you anything that you spend time on and you like because it's interesting to you, right? So if you go, oh, well, Star Wars is way too different from Winterfell. I can't put that into Winterfell. Sure, you can, but you might not want to have laser swords in Winterfell. I don't know why you wouldn't. I think it's pretty cool, but anyways, to each their own, right? But okay, well, do you like the political intrigue of Star Wars? Is that what really captures you? The whole fight between the dark and the light side, is that what's interested you? You could put that into Winterfell, for example. It doesn't have to be a perfect one to one. Um, if you like all those things, chances are your friends also like some of those things, you know? Yeah.
Has there ever been a time where you've had like a player when you built the world, like you said, and they've added something to it that you were like, wow, that like fits so well, and that like really helped us like move the story along in such a great direction? Is there? Have you ever had a moment like that?
No, because all my players are dumb. And I'm God. So that no, for sure. I can't think of just one. There's so many, but it's a simple thing like, hey, when you're creating your backstory, don't give me a full book for your backstory. Don't do that. A page is perfectly fine. And the more open ends you have, fantastic. One of my favorite campaigns that I ran, it's called Guild 407. All of my characters had their own little backstory that they had. It just happened to be, without even discussing it with each other, that all of them were the firstborn of their family or the only child, which makes them the firstborn of their
Yeah.
family. And I just ran with that because I was like, "Oh, let's do this as almost like a I don't know, biblical thing where it's like in Leviticus, your firstborn has to be ordained, right? Or your first one has to be something of importance. All right. All of you guys are firstborn, but I didn't bring that up till the very end, being like, oh, you guys are predestined as a sacrifice. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, you're all the firstborn. And they're like, no, I have a, oh, wait. And it was fantastic for that. So, yeah, without spending 3 hours explaining the campaign to you, it was something like that. It was so simple. I have siblings. I don't have siblings. Cool. Fantastic.
I like that. That's like definitely like with the background I wrote from the character from the new campaign I'm going to do. I definitely had some things where I was like, Mike, you're DMing. Here's the storyline, and you could choose
Mm,
whether this guy is alive or dead, or what happens here. Like I put a little like TBD, like to be determined.
mhm.
Like I'm just gonna leave that. Like whatever you want to do with it, that's fine.
Yeah. And let me just say, as a DM, I'm not speaking for every DM, but you are an absolute joy to DM for. No, genuinely, players like you are an absolute godsend because it means that you're not just going to be like, oh, my father's name is this. He's this like that old. This is where he works. This is how he gets to work. It's like, oh, well, do you want to just DM instead then? It's so I love because you guys come across as so collaborative in nature, and that just makes my job so much easier.
Yeah, we definitely try to do that to the best of our extent. We're all still new. We're all still getting into it. Like, I feel like sometimes I write a little too much. But like for this campaign, I had an idea for a subclass, and I pitched it to Mike, and he was like, I could work with that. Maybe that kind of fits. And I was like, I'll just change it. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
like if it fits. Sure. He goes, and I pitched another subclass. He was like, you know what? After reading your background, I think that I can work with that. I think that'll make a whole lot better for the story. I was like, yeah, then I'll do that.
Let's do that.
I was like, that sounds great.
For sure.
Instead of trying to force something in, it's like, yeah, let's do that. Let's work with that.
Yeah, Mike, I know that you're doing like an Arthurian thing. I'm so sorry. My character does have an AR-15, so bullets. Do I get that at the store, or what happens there?
How do you feel about lasers?
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, well, Mike, imagine like a really small green fella, and he just like jumps around with like like a laser sword or whatever. You playing Yoda? No.
No,
not at all. I'd never do so. Who's Yoda?
Yeah, in fact, his name is Boba. Like, come on,
Ooh,
what are we doing here?
There it is. Yeah. Boba is also a character in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, yeah.
No, this is Luke not Luke Skywalker.
His name is Stuke Skywalker.
There it is.
Completely different.
Yeah. Sold.
Leading into that, what you're like, not for, I know your one shots. I know you're I'm sure you have a very specific way to do that, but your at home games, do you have a preferred campaign style? Like very heavy plot driven or very character driven, or more of like a sandbox where like, I'm just going to drop you guys in and you just go?
I think I'm a lot more plot story driven than anything else. Sandbox games are fantastic for, at home games, one shots. Yeah, sure. Cause it's just a one shot that doesn't really drive anything. But I find that if you have a really good log line of this is a story that I would like to tell, you guys determine how we get there, but it helps the story and the sessions progress a little bit nicer, a little bit smoother as well. It's like, oh, well, look, you come into this town, you're looking for so-and-so, but there's so many interactions that you can have here. They can have those interactions, but at the end of the day, they're going to go, well, what did we come into town for? That's our main mission. All of these things are side quests that we can do if we have time, and if we don't, we can come back for it,
Yeah, I think that's when I'm starting to write the next, because I'm DMing after Mike. I'm already starting to write it, and I'm like, I kind of want, I'm thinking like, I've been telling them like, I really want your characters to have their own missions, and trying to like having my plot and being like trying to weave those into the plot, so that you take personal investment in the main plot that's going on.
For sure. Yeah.
Is that something you try to do, or is it just like your character is your character, my plot is my plot? Sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't.
No, I try to weave in as much as possible. Because then the buy-in from the players is so much more genuine. It's not just, oh, we're buying in because I'd like to play D&D. It's like, no, I'm buying in because last week my character's dad just died. I'd like to find the killer, please. Instead of just random NPC Joe Blow just died. Like, okay, well, I don't really care about that guy. So I care a lot more about my PC's father who died, Not that you should go around killing people's dad. Don't do that.
Unless they're in the way.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Then come on.
Look.
Or if they're a door. If they're a door,
take
them out.
The killer is hiding behind a closed door. You'll never get to him.
I shoot my gun through the door. You hit my father.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh God.
Why was he standing by that door?
Mike,
What
I
was he
can
doing?
explain. All right. Yeah. I had to do it.
I definitely feel like that can. Do you feel like that can be tough if too many of the characters are kind of like all over the place? Like you said, you had
Mhm.
the one link where they were all firstborn, and that was kind of it happened organically, and it brought
Yeah.
together them at the
Mm.
end. Have you ever had one where it's like, these guys are kind of like I like the characters, but they're a little
Mm.
all over, and I'm kind of struggling to weave this guy into that one and to have this involved in that. Has that ever happened
Mm.
where it's like one character, it's hard to get them in with the rest because they're so different?
For sure. For sure. And I think a portion of that is determined by what players you have on the table or at the table. If you have players who are just like lone wolves, I don't talk to anybody. I shit in the corner. It's like, why are you coming to play, dude? God, go home. Ah, I but usually what I find is it's a lot easier to avoid that like main character energy if people understand, oh, this is so and so's arc right now. This is so and so's arc later or next. But in between those sessions, always reminding the players that, hey, your thing is still happening in the background. So the sooner you get this done, the sooner you get to your part of the world or your part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be something as easy as like you're getting toward the end of one player's arc, and then a message comes in from out of
Yep.
town, or
For sure.
oh,
Super easy.
try to get home.
Yeah.
Brother sent you a message. Something's wrong with dad. Get here as soon
Yeah.
as you can. It's like, I got to stay here and do this thing, and
Yeah.
then you showed up too late.
Yep. That's it. For sure. For sure. And there has to be consequences, right? Because at the end of the day, if there's no consequence, you can just do whatever you want to do. There's nothing. There's
Yeah,
nothing more boring than that, you know?
yeah. It definitely gets to a point where there needs to be real consequences, just like there are in the real world. You can't just
For
go
sure.
around doing crazy things.
Yeah.
Have you ever put in like a consequence that like you maybe I was a little too harsh? Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a lot. I'm very
Quite a lot. I'm a nice
yeah.
guy.
I'm a dude, I'm such a nice guy. You'll never understand how nice I am. All right.
Yeah, your
Cody,
whole
you
family
gotta listen
died.
to how
It
nice I
happens.
am. I've literally got a tattoo that says nice guy, right? You can't see it, but it is there. um, no, I think the thing that instantly pops out of for me is a situation where my party was chasing after somebody, and essentially this person was a shapeshifter, and the town captain, Captain Yenna, said, "Hey, look, this is what's going to happen. Once you find that person, we'll hold on to them, and then you can go find the missing kids, et cetera, et cetera." They were about to do that. They went in, they found the missing kids, and they were coming back. And I said, "Hey guys, look, you've got the missing kids. Fantastic. You've done everything really well. Do you go straight back to the captain, or do you wait around a little bit more? You guys are a little bit hurt. You can't sleep." And I was doing it as like a hint, hint, don't sleep. Um, don't sleep at all because they were pretty low, but they weren't dead. I was like, you could push
Yeah.
through. And they're like, oh yeah, dude, we found the kids, we found the shapeshifter, we're doing really well. Let's just go to bed. And I was like, okay. When they woke up, and it was a short rest. So when they woke up and they went over to Captain Yena, she and the rest of the guards were completely murdered. And they were like, wait, wait, what? And I was like, hey man, you slept. And from that point onwards, my characters at the table would would never sleep at like normal times. It would be so exaggerated where it wasn't even like, oh, we're gonna take shifts when we sleep. It's like, no, one person sleeps, the rest of us are gonna be awake. It's like, all right,
we'll
sure.
we'll just we'll work off those exhaustions. Oh,
Yeah,
you have two?
exactly.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
rest and go down to one, and then you.
Yeah. 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 I'm at a 5. I know that 6 means death, so I'm still okay, right? It's like, yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
you are
Paranoia.
breathing.
Paranoia.
Oh, have you ever put too much paranoia where it's like, okay, maybe I did something bad here. These guys are a little too paranoid.
Yeah. I can't say the word green. I can't describe anything as green at all because my in that same campaign, the main bad guy was named Mr. Green, which is really weird because he was just completely monochromatic. There was no color on him, but he was called Mr. Green. And to this day, if I describe anything as green or necrotic green, which is most things, zombie flesh, like a really bad spell, like it's all necrotic green, right?
You forgot to water the grass today.
Exactly, dude. Oh god, I'm freaking out. So, yeah, got so bad that where I was, there was a place that my wife and I we were renting before we moved to our new place. So I'm not doxing myself. It's fine. But the street name started with green. I had a player that refused to come to my house.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know this one. I
yeah,
played this game.
yeah.
I'm gonna open
Something
the
about
door.
this is not good. Yeah,
It's gonna
you've
be like Home
orchestrated
Alone.
this whole thing. Yeah.
It's gonna be like Home Alone 2. He opens the door, and just falls straight into a hole.
Yep, for sure. I should have seen it coming. Yeah.
So leading off that, having like trying to weave the characters into the plot, what do you feel is the best way to like leave them hints if, for example, they like open a door and you're like, okay, they need to like search this room,
Mm,
and they just like open the door, like, all right, I peek in, it's like, all right, the room is empty, okay, and I leave. Is do you find like what's a way to like, okay, I had something in there that was important.
mm.
How would you like? Is there a way for to get them to search it, not to basically tell them, hey, you need to search this room?
Yeah, for sure. I try and keep it as open-ended as possible, and usually, when players go in and they go, "Oh, I'd like to do an investigation check on this rug." Yeah, sure, okay, cool. You do a little investigation on this rug. There's nothing to that rug at all. But because you rolled so well, I can actually point you towards what is important. Like, oh, well, you're doing a really good investigation check here on this rug, and you don't really find anything. But as you're pulling the rug, you notice that the cupboard is open, and it's weird because no one should be here, right? So why is the cupboard open? And I'll just leave it like that, and then see what happens from there. But if they walk into a room and I'm like, oh, I really want them to investigate this room, I'd go, okay, how can I describe it in a way where they're going to be curious about this room without me just being like, "Oh, you should probably like Sherlock Holmes this room at some point."
No.
I think I lost you.
There we go. Am I back?
There you go. No, you're good. You're fine.
Oh my god! I just literally I lost my internet right before I signed on, and then I literally just lost it again.
Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine.
Uh, hey, Joe, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
I don't know why I can't hear you now.
Oh, okay. How about now?
No, I completely lost audio, and I don't know why.
That's all right.
All right, Judah, give me a second. I'm gonna kick you out and resend you a new link
Yeah, cool. Go for it.
just to see if that works. I apologize.
You're good, dude.
right, sorry about that, everyone. 1 second. Check, check, check.
How's that?
See, can you hear me?
I can. Yeah. I can hear
See,
you.
I can't hear you. I don't know why.
Hmm.
It's so weird. Let me check on the mic settings. Hold on. I don't know. It's funny. It says I can see the little volume thing moving,
Hmm.
but I can't hear anything. Oh, you want to try talking for me?
Yeah. How's this?
Oh man, I can't hear
Nothing?
anything.
That's all right. Hold on. Let me see if I can change anything on my end. No, you're fine. How's that? Can you hear that?
Uh, nah, unfortunately.
This seems to be something that happens every time one of us do talking crit. At some
Oh
point,
yeah.
the guest, we automatically just for some reason can't hear them, and I'm just
Fair
not
enough.
able to hear you right now.
Yep.
No. Well, tell you what, let me try ending this all together.
Yeah. Try
I
it.
can't hear you.
Not a problem.
They can hear us.
Not a problem.
I have an idea. There we go. So, Judah, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Sorry about that. Like I said,
You're
for
right.
some reason, when
I've completely lost you
we do
now.
talking, but Wiz loses volume every single time, and
Yeah.
without fail, the talking crit always seems to fail.
Yeah. Yeah. I have lost your visual though.
That's all right. I'm not that much to look at. It's not the end of the world.
Oh, no, I think you're pretty important.
That's okay. I know you can't see me, but that's fine. So, I guess I'll end it with the very last question here.
Mhm.
Any last words of advice for anyone trying to like break into the tabletop role-playing world, whether it's D&D or Daggerheart, or like those are the only two I know of. You may know of more, but any last advice you want to give those people?
Yeah. Well, D&D might not be for everyone, as in the actual play system. So Pathfinder is an alternative. There are so many other TTRPGs and fantasy games that you can play. And I would just tell people find a group of friends that you're willing to experiment with and play, and don't hold yourself to any standard. Don't think that you have to be the next Critical Role, that you have to be the next not another D&D podcast. Just go in, have fun, play, and honestly, what's the worst that can happen? If you don't like it, you try again, or if you don't like it, just change and see something different. But that would probably be my only piece of advice, really.
Yeah, it's definitely something where, at least for us in particular, I like played D&D like a little. I wasn't like super into it. And then Mike one day was like, because he played Baldur's Gate 3, he was like, "Hey, you ever
Mm.
play D&D, Austin?" I was like, "Mike, I am so happy you asked. I
Yep.
love D&D."
Yep.
And that was just like it started from there, and then he got his brother involved, Matt. Then we got Chris involved, and then one day we're like, "Hey, let's try streaming," and then
Mm.
it kind of just spiraled into what we're doing now, and it's just we were able to meet like amazing people like you, and it's just the parts of the community are so welcoming. Do you have anyone else in the community is like just super welcoming that you would definitely tell people, especially newcomers, to gravitate towards?
Oh, geez, there's so many. Alan and Elliot from Quick I Need a Game are amazing. The whole crew from You've Got to Be Critting Me, they're amazing. Who else? Obviously, I think I've already mentioned Andrew from Sketchy Rolls. That whole thing is just awesome. Mike from Good Chat TPK is pretty good. Not pretty good, really good. He's just had a baby as well, so congratulations, bless you. Hope everything's going well. Good lord, there's just so many that I can talk about. Obviously Martin, Strasser at MCD, love him. Um, Emily from Cult Dice, she's cool. She's dope. I've got a set of custom dice that she made for me, which is amazing. Oh man, I could keep going on and on and on, but if you just take the time to go through and look at every single one of these guys and you'll begin to appreciate all their hard work and you'll actually fall in love with all of their stuff. So I could be naming a few more, and I've definitely missed a few. And I do apologize if I've missed a few. Just know that I am thinking of you. I just can't name you for some reason.
I mean, yeah, the fact that you were able to just go off and name like I don't know, like 15 people, 20 people off the top of your head, like kind of shows.
Worth jumping into.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're going to end it there, everyone. So, unfortunately, we were so close to having an episode without any technical difficulties. So close. But once again, Judah, thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Thank everyone for stopping by and listening to us talk for a while. Any last shout outs? I know you named a lot of people. Any last one before we go?
Just one. October 5th, 2025, season 2 of One Shot D&D is dropping, and we're starting things off with a mini campaign. So there'll be 2 episodes that drop that day. If you're not doing anything and if you have a spare few hours, give it a listen. Tell me what you think. And if you don't want to, that's fine. It's not worth anything. It's honestly, it really sucks. I'll be completely honest. If you have the time, go ahead and listen to it. If not, that's perfectly fine. Listen to anyone else that I mentioned.
Yeah. All right. That's great. Awesome. We'll call it a wrap right here. Thanks for hanging out with me, dude.
Fantastic.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.